Heavy rain and flooding have been impacting the North Tropical Queensland coast throughout the week so far, and there is a lot more rain on the way for this saturated part of the country. Let's get into it with a severe weather update for Thursday, starting by seeing our radar imagery from this morning. Now, so far through the week, the heaviest falls have been between Cairns and Townsville, and we've actually seen the rain ease off there so far through Thursday, but at the same time, the rain has coalesced a little bit further south. However, through the week so far, the rainfall numbers have been fairly remarkable. I'll just bring up a couple of the highest observations from the week so far, up to 939 millimetres in 7 days at Mount Sophia. That's just south of Cairns, as is Clyde Road, 900 millimetres there, with over 600 millimetres in other locations. That is a lot of rain. It has caused significant flooding, road closures, detours and damage, with more on the way. We'll just go back to the radar imagery, and what we'll see, not as much rain here, but a little bit more rain further southwards, and that becomes the focal point for Thursday as rain gets heavier over the Whitsundays and the Burdekin region around the likes of Proserpine and Bowen north of Mackay. We could see some significant falls there through the remainder of the day on Thursday, because this low which has been generating the rain is just moving a little bit to the south, and it is on the southern flank of that low where we see the heaviest falls. So watching out for northern parts of the Central Coast, southern parts of the Herbert and Lower Burdekin for seeing the heaviest falls today, and we could easily see another 100 to 200 millimetres for that stretch of coastline there. Remember, this was the area which has seen the heavier falls so far. Not as much today, perhaps another 30 to 60 millimetres of rain. The falls in the south between Townsville and Mackay could be enhanced by embedded thunderstorms. Storms are possible through all of these northern areas, but the yellow region here is where we could see severe thunderstorms, and if we do see severe thunderstorms, they are likely to be severe because of the heavy rain that they are generating through the day on Thursday. We're going to jump ahead for the next few days now, and this is where things get really interesting, because there are not one, not two, but three tropical low pressure areas in the vicinity of North Queensland through Friday and the weekend. And depending on the movement of these lows, it's going to shift the wind and shift the areas of heavy rain. And so that's going to determine who in North Queensland gets the heaviest falls in the coming few days. But let's play it out as to what is looking most likely at the current time period. This low will move northwards again, which will shift that band of heavier rain northwards again through Friday, back into that area between Cairns and Townsville, and then throughout the course of the weekend that's going to become slow moving, continuing to pump a lot of wet weather onto that part of the coastline. Meanwhile, we could see development up in the Gulf of Carpentaria as well, bringing some rain into Gulf country over here. The rainfall totals through the weekend are expected to get heavy once again through this stretch of coast here. We're actually at the top of the scale, 300 millimetres plus in this darker area, and that could easily be 500 millimetres for isolated locations on top of the rain that they've already received earlier this week. That's a whole lot more wet weather, and that means we expect to see a whole lot more heavy rain impacts, a lot more flooding, potential road closures and detours and isolation, stress on the power network and other infrastructure through northeast Queensland, and damage to crops, vegetation and gardens is definitely possible, particularly in areas where we do see surface flooding like this. Finally, a look at the river network across this part of Australia. There are a couple of minor flood warnings in play. We've actually seen the river levels come down a bit today after the heavy falls from the last few days. The Mulgrave River and the Tully River still seeing minor flooding at the moment, and the blue areas are flood watches, and that's covering pretty much all of the rivers between Cairns and Townsville for the next few days. So if you are in this part of the country, it is very important to stay up to date with the latest weather forecasts and weather warnings, and follow any advice from your local authorities and emergency management. Thanks very much for watching.